I am going to, as I said, stay on as an advisor. I am now. I, of course, advise Pierre. I speak to people on a daily basis, and I'm going to continue to. I'm going to continue to do that. But I've stepped back from the day to day, and I'm not going to run the next campaign.
Ms. Jenni Byrne. Jenni Byrne, Ms. Byrne, you will have up to 10 minutes for your opening comments. Welcome to PROC.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me here today. The committee and the work you are doing is critical to protecting Canadian democracy. And there's no way around it. The facts have come to light, so far extremely troubling. It is the most basic responsibility of the government to protect Canadians and our democracy from foreign interference. And it is increasingly clear that the government has completely failed in this responsibility, leaving our country vulnerable to hostile foreign actors. We now know, thanks to patriotic Canadians who are willing to ring alarm bells in public, that this government has been systematically turning a blind eye to illegal foreign interference from Beijing. New evidence of this country's cavalier attitude and willful blindness towards Beijing's interference in our country's electoral system seems to emerge every week, if not every day. This government has been aware for at least 2 years that a PRC diplomat was targeting the family of Conservative MP Michael Chong in Hong Kong in an effort to silence him. This is a genuinely shocking revelation and one that raises extremely serious questions about this government. Any intimidation of Canadians, whether directly or through their family members, by a foreign government is wrong. And in this case, Beijing was specifically targeting an elected MP for the principled and courageous position he has taken condemning Beijing's human rights abuses. That kind of direct interference in our electoral system cannot be tolerated. And what did this government do to protect Canadians or MP Chong? They did nothing. They didn't expel the diplomat or protest to Beijing until they were forced to by incessant questioning from the Conservative Party. They didn't even tell Mr. Chong what they knew was happening at all to his family until media reports. Now, sadly, this approach of turning a blind eye has been the government's standard way of addressing this extremely serious issue. The government's silence has left Canadians and their family members overseas more vulnerable than ever to foreign interference activities, and their indifference has undermined our democracy. Instead of doing their job and protecting Canadians, especially members of Canada's Chinese community, who are the primary victims and targets of Beijing's interference efforts, the Liberals have spent an extraordinary amount of time and effort trying to stop any independent investigation into foreign interference from moving forward at all. They only gave in and allowed these hearings when the NDP, their coalition partner, finally forced them to. Since then, we've heard disturbing allegations in connection with the Trudeau Foundation. Dr. Pascal Fournier, the former president and CEO of the Trudeau Foundation, raised the alarm over a donation that the Trudeau Foundation received from Beijing around the time that Justin Trudeau became Prime Minister before Xi became president. Astoundingly, Trudeau even appointed the president and CEO of the Trudeau Foundation at the time of this donation to author a report on foreign influence in the last election. It is clear that the point of this donation by a billionaire with ties to Beijing was to try to influence the Prime Minister. Dr. Fournier said there is evidence that members of the Foundation's board work with the donor to hide the true source of the funds. She also said she believed that an independent investigation was needed, but that the board members with deep ties to the Trudeau family refused. So she resigned. But some of those board members remain in place. It has since been reported that foreign donations to the Trudeau Foundation increased by 10 times around the time Justin Trudeau became Prime Minister, and this while the Prime Minister's brother was an active member of the Trudeau Foundation. All of these attempts at foreign influence are concerning. Even more concerning is the government's obvious desire to sweep them under the rug. The Prime Minister couldn't even bring himself to call for an independent investigation into the problem. Instead, he appointed an old family friend who also happened to be a member of the Trudeau Foundation to look into the idea for him. It's become clear that this government does not take the threat of foreign interference in our political system seriously. If they did, they would be doing something about it. They would be trying to get to the bottom of these allegations. Instead, they are fighting at every step to shut down hearings and delay investigations. It often seems like this government and their friends are angrier at the whistleblowers and the journalists who are reporting on foreign interference than they are about the serious threat to our democracy that this foreign interference poses. As someone who has been involved in Canadian politics for more than 2 decades, who believes strongly in protecting our democratic rights and freedoms, I'm glad the Liberals finally were forced into taking a serious look at this issue, even if they had to be dragged here kicking and screaming. I look forward to answering your questions.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Thank you. Ms. Byrne, if you would be indulge us, could we ask for 10 extra minutes of your time past the hour?
Sure.
Maximum. That way we can give Mr. Cooper his 5 minutes and complete this round, and then Mr. Gerritsen, and then we'll thank you for your time. Mr. Cooper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The CSIS in July 2021 had a report detailing that a diplomat, Zhang Wei, at the Toronto consulate had orchestrated an intimidation campaign against sitting member of Parliament, Michael Chong. We know that that report was provided to the National Security Advisor at the PCO, as well as to the relevant departments. And we know, according to the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff and the Prime Minister's National Security Advisor, that the Prime Minister is routinely briefed on national security matters. According to his Chief of Staff, Ms. Telford, he reads everything and nothing is held back. And yet, in the face of that, the Prime Minister wants Canadians to believe that he learned about this in the Globe and Mail, something that couldn't be more serious when we're talking about a foreign hostile state and an accredited diplomat targeting a sitting member of Parliament to interfere in their ability to do their job on behalf of their constituents and on behalf of Canadians. Now, so in the face of that, it's very difficult to believe what the Prime Minister is saying, and even if he is being truthful, and I have real doubts about that, it speaks to his lack of seriousness with respect to foreign interference, and is an indictment either way. But we need to get to the bottom of that, and I put forward a motion today at committee to do just that. And so it is my understanding that there is an extensive tracking system within the Prime Minister's office for sensitive documents. As someone who has worked in the Prime Minister's office in senior positions, can you tell us how documents are tracked within the Prime Minister's office?
Well, with the Prime Minister's office, PCO is the traffic cop, so to speak, of documents that would go to the Prime Minister. And these tracking sheets are actually very extensive from what I remember. They not only indicate that they go to the Prime Minister, they indicate every official that they go to, so on the bureaucratic side, depending on the department. They also track, obviously, which agencies they would go to, and it also tracks what political staff they would go to. And so these would be available, and it would be very, very simple for the Prime Minister to direct PCO to make public that tracking document to find out where this mysterious briefing note and who it was delivered to, because tracking notes for what I gather are not from what I remember are not top secret or not classified documents. So this would be something very easy if the Prime Minister and the government were truly open to figuring out where this tracking note somehow got lost in the delivery. It would be very easy to find out which officials, which security agencies, and which political staff received it.
Thank you for that. And Ms. Byrne, through you, Madam Chair, in the motion that I put forward at paragraph E, there is an order for production that provides that within 1 week that the distribution of that document within the Prime Minister's office, the PCO, the Department of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Development, and the Department of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness be provided to this committee. Do you think that's a reasonable request? Is that something that could easily be handled?
I think it could easily be handled.
Okay, thank you for that. And just to be clear, changing gears a little bit, just to be clear, you did not deal with the site task force on behalf of the Conservative Party in the 2021 election, correct?
Correct.
Nor in the 2019 election?
Correct. I was not centrally involved. I door knocked for some local candidates, both in 2019 or 2021, but I had no role within the central campaign.
So no formal role in 2019 or 21?
No.
So why do you think you've been called here today?
Well, I thought about that. I know on the surface it's the 2015 campaign, and I know so I think there's probably a bit of politics. Considering I know that one of the asks that I know there was a counter motion to have my friend Anne McGrath called before committee, someone who actually was the national director of the NDP for the last two elections. So I think that there was a little bit of politics here to have me and not members of the other party.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Our last round, Mr. Gerritsen. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Ms. Byrne. Thank you for coming here today. You noted in your comments earlier on that you didn't receive any information or read any reports regarding foreign interference. But
I did not receive any reports.
okay, in 2013, CSIS's public report identified foreign interference as an existing threat and one that was going to continue to grow into future years. Did you read that report?
I do not recall.
Did you receive that report?
I
You were the deputy. You were
I
the
was the
deputy
deputy.
chief of
I
staff
was the
at the
deputy
time?
chief of staff. Yes.
You don't recall?
Do not recall.
You paint a very different picture of Stephen Harper than some of the other witnesses that have come before us today. A former intelligence officer said, and I quote, Stephen Harper became soft, and quote, on China, and quote, agents of influence were capable to gain access to him and change the course of his decision making, end quote. A former parliamentary correspondent said that he was left out to dry by Stephen Harper when he had first-hand knowledge of foreign interference. He asked us a question to ask you, so I will ask that to you. Perhaps you heard it in advance. His question is, why were you and the Harper government so naive on China?
I cannot answer for the Prime Minister. As I said, I have no knowledge in terms of what the gentleman that testified here
Tell you what he said. He claimed that Stephen Harper was naive on China. The intelligence officer before him said that Stephen Harper was soft on China. Why were you guys in the Prime Minister's office not taking those threats seriously?
I have no evidence to say that that there was any evidence of that. I was not, as I said, briefed on that, and I do not recall the public report to CSIS.
But in fairness, you didn't have to be briefed on it. It was a public document by CSIS. But I have a series of questions for you. Yes or no are sufficient. So if you wouldn't mind indulging me. You were never briefed on foreign interference after a Chinese state news agency asked a reporter to spy on the Prime Minister.
I was not.
You were never briefed on foreign interference after the same news agency was involved in a honey trap operation with a Conservative parliamentary secretary.
I was not.
You were never briefed on foreign interference when a year earlier CSIS Director Richard Fadden publicly warned that some politicians were falling under the influence of foreign governments through personal relationships.
I was not, as I was not in the Prime Minister's office at the time.
Okay. And you were never briefed about foreign interference after John Baird took a job with a Chinese billionaire.
I was not. I was in 2015, I was the National Campaign Director.
You were never briefed about foreign interference after that same Chinese billionaire donated $1 million to the National Art Gala while sitting next to the gala's honorary chair, Laureen Harper.
I was not.
Madam Chair, I'll turn the rest of my time to Mr. Turnbull.
Ms. Byrne, NSI COP, Critical Election Incident Public Protocol, Site Task Force, the Rapid Response Mechanism, Canadian Centre for Cybersecurity, the Plan to Protect Canadian Democracy, Bill C-59 and Bill C-76. That's 8 things that our government has done since 2015. Can you name 8 from the Harper era?
What I can say is that regardless of all that,
Yes or no?
Well, are you going to let me respond, Chair?
If you answer the question, yes or no.
Well, I'm going to answer
Can
the
you
question,
answer-
but I
Can
don't.
Okay,
you
I'm going to
offer
pause the
8
time.
things?
We're doing very well. As we've always said, we ask questions, we answer. I've been in that chair once upon a time where I did have the chair of committee, that committee say to me really quickly that we know time belongs to members, I believe witnesses should also get time. So I will just say the status quo around here, you've been in these hallways, is that it is the members' time. Mr. Turnbull, I would ask that we just give the witness time to answer.
Regardless of the 8 things that you have named, we are still sitting here with the fact that for the last 2 elections, knowingly, your government ignored advice from officials in terms of foreign interference.
Could you name 4 things?
As I said, we are still sitting here where your government is dragging their heels after repeatedly ignoring.
How about just 2 things? I'm sorry to interrupt, Ms. Byrne, but we have very limited time.
Well,
How
I
about just 2
understand you're
things?
trying. I understand you're trying to turn this, but this has nothing to do.
I'm not trying to turn anything. I'm just asking you a
absolutely
simple
are.
question about whether in the Harper era, we've heard many witnesses say that the Harper government did nothing. You've claimed that our government has done nothing, and you asked me a question, which is the opposite of how these things are supposed to go. I gave you 8 examples, tangible examples, and you can't give me 1. I find that telling.
Well,
Okay. I'll move on. Madam Chair, how much more time do I have?
10 seconds.
Okay, I'll just thank the witness for being here today.
With that, we
Madam
have...
Chair. Madam Chair, I would like to move a motion that the committee allocate sufficient time at Tuesday's meeting to deal with my motion concerning Mr. Chong.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations, you're spending more money on taxes than on food, clothing, and shelter combined.
How many kids did you molest Jeffrey Epstein?
More than just elbows.
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
Anyhow, what are you going to do? Trying to keep you informed. Aaron Canadian Looney trying to hit 30,000 subs. Help me get there. Thank you for watching this video. We'll catch you in the next one. Later, gang.